I don't know if you realize this, but it's June. Yes, June, month 6, halfway through 2026. And I want you to be honest with yourself for just a second and answer this one question truthfully. Where did you think you'd be by now? Because I'm guessing there's a gap. Am I right? There's a gap between where you expect it to be and where you actually are. And the question is, how did we get here? I know one thing for sure, it's not because you don't care, you do care. That's the very reason why you're watching this video, because here's the crazy truth. Maybe you didn't quit, maybe you didn't fail, maybe you didn't stop working, maybe you ran the plan, you did the actual work, but maybe, just maybe, you just drifted. Failure is obvious, failure is loud, failure gives signals, but a drift is quiet. Drift looks like being busy, drift looks like saying yes to good opportunities, drift looks like handling your responsibilities, drift looks like making progress in areas that actually are not connected to what you said mattered most. And all of a sudden, boom, it's June. You're tired, you've been working, you're not lazy, but you're not where you thought you'd be. And that's what this whole video is all about. It's not a lecture, it's a mirror. This is your mid-year wake-up call because I needed one too. Let's see if any of these resonate with you. Maybe you're an artist, a designer, a photographer, a musician, whatever your lane is, the first half of the year, you did work that paid. Client work, production work, work people asked for, the work that kept the lights on and you're grateful for it. But if you're honest, there's a little ache because the things you actually wanted to build, the body of work, the personal project, the deeper creative direction kept getting pushed to the side. You were feeding the business, but you were starving your own calling. Or maybe you're a speaker, a coach, a pastor, a teacher, a communicator, and you've been saying yes to rooms to give you opportunities that kept you busy, but the spaces and places don't inspire you. You showed up, you served, you did a good job, but afterwards something felt off. Not because you're ungrateful, because deep down inside, you know that there's a message you're supposed to carry more clearly, and you keep adapting yourself to rooms that were never built for your calling. Or maybe you're the founder, you're building something that looks decent from the outside, the brand looks okay, the site's working, the content is moving, maybe you're even crushing it on external metrics. But inside, when you sit with it, something feels disconnected. It looks like you, but it really doesn't feel like you. And that's the part that's hard to explain because from the outside, people are asking, what's the problem? Things are working, but you can feel when you're building something that's adjacent to your dream, but not actually the dream. That's who I'm talking to, the person who hasn't quit, but something went missing along the way. I'll tell you where this hit me personally. I started 2026 with one of the clearest visions I've had in a long time. I knew what I was building. Javier Torres Studios, this very YouTube channel, the content journey, all of it. My thesis is that most people don't have a content problem or a design problem first. They have a clarity problem, a gap between what's in their head and what the world is actually receiving. It felt like the thread connecting 20 years of work, creative direction, brand strategy, merch, website, publishing, AI systems, helping pastors, authors, founders, and creatives get the vision out of their head and into something real. So I started this year super excited. I started to film, I started to build. And then good opportunities showed up, client work showed up, things that paid, things I already knew how to do, and I said yes. And a lot of those yeses made sense. But a few weeks go by, then a few more. I was working, I was building, I was doing things, but inside I knew I had drifted. Not because I was lazy, because I had let new things crowd out the one thing I actually was called to build. And that is a different kind of conviction. It's not dramatic, it's not a movie scene, it's just that quiet moment where you know the truth. And here's the part that's almost embarrassing to admit. I coach clients get clarity on what they're building, and I was off. I knew I was off. I knew I needed realignment and to get back on my 2026 targets. And the funny thing is, the way I found clarity for myself, I used the very tool I was building for my clients on myself. I nearly gotten burnt out building it, but that tool is the reason I'm clear enough to make this very video. Here's what I want you to hear. Most people hit the middle of the year and assume they have a discipline problem. I need to hustle harder. I need to wake up earlier. I need to be more consistent. And sometimes, sure, that is true. But I've been around too many dreamers, builders, and creatives to believe that that's the real issue for most of them, most of the time. Because most of the people I know who feel stuck aren't lazy at all. They're just exhausted. They're working hard, but they're not working in alignment. And that's a huge difference, because misalignment will drain you in a way hard work never does. Because hard work towards the right thing will actually give you life. You could actually be super tired, but you're filled in your soul because you're doing what you're called to do. But hard work towards the wrong thing, even the almost right thing, slowly disconnects you from yourself and leads to burnout. And that's what makes it dangerous. Misalignment could look responsible, it could look productive, it could even look successful for a season, but you know when you put in the work in that you're being depleted in your soul. And the hard part is you usually can't see it clearly when you're in it. You need what I call is a mirror. The mirror problem is the gap between who you actually are and what your brand, business, content, calendar, and decisions are communicating. It's what the world actually sees and feels from you. Not just your logo, not just your colors, not just your website, the whole signal. What are people actually receiving from you? What do they think you do? What do they think you care about? What kind of clients keep reaching out? And what kind of work keeps finding you? Because sometimes the life you're living is communicating something different than the dream you say you have. You say you want to be a speaker, but you never post yourself speaking. You say you want to write a book, but you're never testing out your ideas in public. You say you want premium clients, but your whole experience feels rushed and unclear. And I'm not saying this to shame you. I'm saying this because evidence matters. Your aspiration and your evidence need to start lining up. Because if you don't, you'll keep attracting opportunities connected to the old signal while wondering why the new dream isn't finding you. You'll keep repeating the same pattern you said you wanted to change this year. That's the mirror problem. And until you fix the mirror, you're just optimizing misalignment. Better content, better designs, better systems, all pointed to the wrong thing. And that's what I call the mirror problem. It's not a clever branding term I came up with. It's a pattern I kept seeing surfacing in my own life, in my own client calls, in transcript after transcript, until I started seeing it everywhere. But here's the good news, you're not behind. I know it might sound strange in a wake-up call video, but I mean it. You're not behind, you're not broken, the dream is not dead. The fact that it's even bothering you is proof that the dream is still alive, because people who don't care don't feel this tension. If you feel it, it's because something in you still knows that there's more. But you don't need to panic, you need to recalibrate. And recalibration is not starting over. It's not burning everything down. It's not throwing away every client that you work with or pretending the first half of the year didn't matter. It's stopping long enough to ask honest questions. What am I actually building? Who is this actually for? What did I say mattered in January? And does my calendar, my content, my brand, my offers actually prove it? Or have I let good opportunities pull me off the main thing? That question might feel uncomfortable, but avoiding it for another 6 months is far more expensive and far more uncomfortable. 6 months of clarity can do way more for you than 2 years of scattered effort, but you have to stop. You have to look. You have to tell yourself the truth. And that's exactly why I built Brand Brain Extractor, because the first thing I do with my clients is not jump into a logo. It's not content, merch, course, website, or a book. The very first thing is alignment. Who are you? What are you building? Who are you called to serve? What do you actually believe? What's the gap between what you think your brand is saying and what people are actually receiving? And that's the work. The Brand Brain Extractor walks you through that very process. and a whole lot more, and turns it all into one source document with your voice, your values, your story, your audience, your position, your actual signal. So anytime you start to write a piece of content, build a site, make an offer, use ChatGPT or Claude, you're not starting from scratch every time. You have a plan. You have your source code. This is based on the exact framework I use for my $3,000 brand evaluation. That's a 1 to 3 day deep dive. The scaled down version is normally $500 for a 90-minute strategy session. And right now you can get the free beta of that $3,000 framework. Not because it's not worth anything, because I'm beta testing it, and I rather invest it in you and learn from real people using it to see where we go with this. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes, so set aside the time and invest in yourself, because I'm investing in you. How do you get it? Here's the one step. Find me on Instagram and comment the words "wake up" on any one of my posts, and I'll send you a direct link. Or you can go to essenceintoassets.com. The link is found in my description. So look, the fact you clicked on a mid-year wake-up call video tells me something. It tells me you're still paying attention. Most people aren't doing this. They're not evaluating in June. They're waiting until December, looking back and saying what happened. But you're asking the question now, and that matters. And I don't think the dream you had in January was random. I don't think it was just motivation or a nice idea. I think these things keep coming back because they're connected to who you're supposed to be and who you're supposed to become, and also the people you're called to serve. So don't treat this like condemnation, just treat it like conviction and a little bit of direction in the right path. Let's go, people. You've got 6 months. That's the runway. Use it. If this video inspired you in any way, do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm a new channel, so everything really does help. I'm just starting off, so any person you send it to, any comment, I read them all, and they mean the world to me. Well, thank you guys so much. I love you guys. God bless you guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.